This is The Process Shot. I'm Michael. I'm stuck in a haunted movie theater, and as such, I find myself connecting with the main character of this movie. Kimi is a new techno-thriller from Steven Soderbergh following Angela, a woman who works from home, both because of the ongoing pandemic and because of her own agoraphobia, the latter of which prevents her from even opening her front door. Her employer is a tech company with a smart assistant, and her job is to analyze the recordings and requests of its users to find and solve misinterpretations and other issues. One day, Angela's audio cue includes what sounds like a woman being assaulted, which obviously disturbs her and pushes her to report the issue. What ends up being more disturbing, however, is that her employer seems to want her to ignore the clip entirely. As Angela continues to investigate, she ends up in over her head as she comes to learn more about the audio, whose voices are heard, and who wants to keep it from being shared with authorities. The story is a bit of a slow burn, with the first act sticking to Angela's apartment and setting up the world around her. It's actually paced out pretty well, despite sticking to this single location, taking its time not only to build up suspense, but foreshadow a few subtle story elements as well. It definitely picks up more in its later story, almost appropriately so when Angela has no choice but to leave her house, though anything more about that would probably be spoilers. On that note, the film's ending does ramp things up quite a lot, almost in an exaggerated sense compared to the preceding hour or so. It's a bit jarring, but on the other hand, I don't think any other ending would have worked without losing some of the satisfaction that it gives. Overall, though, the movie is certainly able to keep everything flowing well, building up the world and characters without wasting any time. Everything that happens has some importance to the story or Angela's personal development, and while there are one or two short detours, the movie never goes out of its way into a different storyline or plot thread for its own sake. As for the technical production of Kimi, it feels rather stripped back, rather appropriate for a movie set during the pandemic. It does lend the film a further sense of immediacy and helps to put you into Angela's state of mind, something that's illustrated amazingly well through cinematography. The film's choices of camera placements and movements are in themselves effective illustrations of visual storytelling, contrasting the flatter, smoother comforts of Angela at home with the spastic, shaky anxiety she feels when she has to step outside. Even when she re-enters a building and things become calmer, the camera still remains a bit wobbly and unstable, and it doesn't calm down until she's able to go back home and return to her element. The film's greater sound design builds on this idea too, with quietness and calmer sounds at home, and a stinging tone with increasing chaos everywhere else. It's all grounded pretty well, sticking close to conventional thriller formulas, but being able to work with those elements in a way that allows for them to be twisted for newer story ideas. Overall, the movie is a sort of calm thriller, focused a bit more on build-up rather than payoff, but still coming through there in the end. Kimi, Steven Soderbergh, 2022. 3.5 stars. I'd say that it's worth a watch. That's it for this review. If you liked it, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews. I suppose I don't actually connect all that much to Angela. After all, she actually got to go outside at some point. I haven't seen this guy in months.